All right. So, as a leader, it never really stops, right? Always something to tackle, always some fire to put out some new direction to figure out.
I mean, that's the thrill of it, isn't it? You're right at the helm, steering the ship through constant change.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
and a huge part of that is being decisive,
Right.
knowing when to make a call and making it fast.
I couldn't agree more. And that's really what we're diving deep into today. Like rapid decision making as a tool and a skill really for driving serious innovation.
Yeah, and we've been looking at some seriously impressive brands, companies that seem to just operate at a different speed altogether.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is it's not just about being quick. It's about having the right systems, the right culture in place to enable those fast decisions, but smart ones too.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to unpack today, right?
Huh.
So our listeners can walk away with some real strategy, that things they can put into practice like immediately.
Absolutely actionable insights that you can take back to your teams right away. And it's funny because in today's world, I think indecision is almost more dangerous than making the wrong decision.
Oh yeah, because by the time you finally make a decision, the landscape could have completely shifted.
Precisely. The opportunity might be gone, your competitors might have already moved, and you're left playing catch up.
It's like the Blockbuster scenario all over again, right?
Yeah.
Like they were the giants, but they hesitated on streaming and well, we all know how that story
Yeah.
ends.
Netflix swooped in and they were so agile, so quick to adapt that they basically redefined the entire entertainment industry.
And then that's a perfect example of how the cost of being slow can be,
Mm.
you know, pretty much fatal for a business.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so crucial to really look at the companies that are getting this right, the companies that have built this culture of rapid decision making into their DNA.
Okay, so let's talk about those winners. Let's start with Amazon. I I mean, this two-peat the team rule that Jeff Bezos put in place,
Yeah.
it sounds almost deceptively simple.
Right, it does, but there's a real genius to it. The idea is to keep your team small enough that they can be fed with just two pizzas.
I love that analogy. I mean, it's so clear.
It is, and what it does is it forces you to limit the size of your teams, which in turn makes communication so much easier and faster.
Right, because you don't have all those layers of hierarchy to navigate. You can actually just get stuff done.
Exactly. And when you have smaller, more autonomous teams, they're empowered to make decisions on their own without having to wait for approvals from, five different levels of management.
And we've seen this in action with Amazon, right? I mean, the launch of Amazon Prime, for
Oh,
example.
absolutely. Prime is a perfect example. They
That,
saw the data. They realized that customers were really sensitive to shipping costs and delivery times.
yeah, I mean, who doesn't love free 2-day shipping?
Exactly. And they made a bold decision, a fast decision to implement that. And the results speak for themselves. I mean, over 200 million Prime members worldwide. It's a massive driver of their growth and their market dominance.
So streamlined teams empowered to make decisions. That's a key takeaway for sure. Now let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about Zara. They're known for being incredibly fast in the fashion world.
Zara is a fascinating case study because they've really built their entire business model around speed.
Yeah, their speed from design to retail is legendary. I mean, we're talking weeks, not months.
It's unbelievable, right? And the way they do it is by having this incredibly tight feedback loop between their designers, their store managers, and their customers.
So it's not just the designers sitting in some ivory tower. They're actually getting real-time input from the people on the front lines.
Exactly. And that means they can make adjustments incredibly quickly, whether it's tweaking a design or changing production quantities. They're constantly adapting to what's selling, what's trending.
And that agility is what keeps them ahead of the curve, right?
Absolutely. It allows them to stay relevant. It allows them to respond to those fast-changing consumer preferences that you were talking about earlier.
Okay, so we've got Amazon, we've got Zara. Now let's talk about a company that's really disrupting the status quo, Tesla.
Oh, Tesla. Yeah, they're a whole other level of speed and innovation.
I mean, Elon Musk, he seems to operate on a different timeline altogether.
Right. His whole philosophy is about rapid testing, rapid iteration, constant improvement, and they're not afraid to make bold moves and then adjust course as needed.
And a great example of this is their over-the-air software updates.
Yeah, think about that for a second. In the traditional auto industry, if you want to make a major change to a car, you have to wait for the next model year, which could be years
Right.
away.
It's a whole production cycle.
Exactly, but Tesla, they can push out updates to their entire fleet overnight. It's like
No.
having your car constantly evolving.
It's wild. And we saw this with the autopilot system, right? When they had some issues, They didn't wait for a traditional recall. They analyzed the data, they developed fixes, and they pushed them out almost immediately.
Exactly. And that ability to respond to problems, to adapt in real time, that's a huge competitive advantage.
Okay, so we've seen these different examples, Amazon, Zara, Tesla. What are some of the core reasons why this speed, this rapid decision-making actually leads to more innovation?
Well, I think one of the biggest factors is empowerment. When you give your teams the autonomy to make decisions, you unlock a lot of creativity and innovation.
Right, because they're not bogged down by bureaucracy, they can actually just try things out, experiment.
Exactly. And when you have that culture of experimentation, you're more likely to stumble upon those breakthrough ideas.
And speed also helps you get to market faster, right?
Absolutely. I mean, in many industries, being first to market is a huge advantage.
Yeah, if you're too slow, you might miss your window of opportunity.
And finally, rapid decision making. It forces you to be more agile, more adaptable, which is essential in today's rapidly changing world.
Yeah, so let's get practical here for our listeners who are leading teams, who are running organizations.
Yeah.
What are some concrete steps they can take to build this muscle, this rapid decision-making muscle?
Well, I think the first step is to really examine your existing decision making processes. Look for bottlenecks. Look for unnecessary layers of approval.
To do a little audit, a little spring cleaning.
Exactly. And see if you can streamline those processes. Can you empower those smaller two-pizza teams to make decisions without having to go through, 10 different levels of sign-off?
I like to make it lean, make it agile.
And then the second thing is to really embrace data-driven decision-making.
Right, because speed without direction can be just as dangerous.
Absolutely. You need to have the right information at your fingertips. You need to be able to analyze that information quickly and then make decisions based on those insights.
And thankfully, there are so many tools available now to help us do that.
Oh, yeah. There's amazing software platforms. There's AI-powered analytics tools that can really help you make sense of the data and make faster, more informed decisions.
So leverage those tools to your advantage, for sure.
Yeah.
What else can our listeners do?
Well, I think it's also important to foster a culture of experimentation. Encourage your teams to try new things, even if they don't always work out perfectly.
Yeah, create that safe space for people to take risks, to learn from their mistakes.
Exactly, because that's how you innovate. That's how you push the boundaries.
And finally, I think it's important to remember that progress is more important than perfection.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get bogged down in trying to make everything perfect from the start.
Right, because by the time you achieve perfection, the market might have already moved on.
Exactly. No,
Right.
get your product or your service out there, get feedback, iterate, improve, and do it quickly.
So to recap, we're talking about streamlining decisions, making them data-driven, fostering experimentation, and valuing agility over perfection.
And if you can do all of those things, you'll be well on your way to building a truly innovative and competitive organization.
And ultimately, that's what it's all about, right? Staying ahead of the curve, leading the pack.
Absolutely. It's about embracing speed as a strategic advantage.
So for our listeners out there, I want you to really think about this. How fast are your teams making decisions? And more importantly, are those decisions leading to real innovation? Are they helping you stay ahead? What's one thing, one small thing even, that you can do this week to inject a little more speed, a little more agility into your decision-making processes? Because the faster you can move responsibly, of course, the faster you can innovate and the faster you can win.
I love that. I mean, that's the key takeaway here, isn't it? It's not just about speed for speed's sake. It's about making smart decisions quickly and having the confidence to course correct as needed.
Exactly. And I think that's a great note to end on. So until next time, keep those decisions flowing and keep innovating.
Absolutely. And we'll be back soon with more deep dives into the strategies that are shaping the future of business.
What? Yeah.
See ya.